Welcome to Thursday Night Knives. I'm your host, Bob DeMarco. Coming up, Boker makes a folding smash it. That's quite exciting to me. We take a look at a Ned Foss knife, Ned Foss, and we have a great knife fight coming up. It's the clip point versus the drop point. It's like two very standard blades against one another. And tonight, I want to talk about something that my daughter actually raised in the car on the way to school. Hey, Penny, good to have you here. She said she had heard about people talking about Monster. Good to have you here. She had heard about gun control from friends at school, and we sort of talked a little bit about it. I didn't want to get too into it. There's nothing worse than little kids talking politics because, you know, they're just poorly representing. Hey, Black Multicam, good to have you here. You know that they're just poorly representing their parents' opinions. So I didn't want to go too deep into the politics of it. Shane, great to have you here. Benjamin, howdy, fellas. I've been enjoying your Instagram GEC 15 photos recently. Blade Ogre, Chris, pleasure to have you here. Proud new owner of the Tanto, Martin Gamboa. Always a pleasure. I just wanted to finish. So what would knife control look like? Government mandated knife control. Because basically my daughter asked, do you think they'll ever do knife control? And I thought, I hope not. Who knows? Dave, what a pleasure. Is this the doom and gloom room? Yes, it is, sir. Doom and gloom. No, all happiness and goodness here, sir. You see, I have the bright light in my face. Paul, it's a pleasure to have you here. So what would government-mandated knife control look like? That's what I'm curious to hear what you all would think, because I think it'd be terrible. Michael, it's a pleasure to have you here. G-Man, how's it going? Brian, greetings, children of Earth. Pleasure to have you here. Hey, guys, how's it going? Over there at Shredder Knife Reviews, great to have you here. Guys, and possibly gal. Incognito Griffin, knife control would be a Kershaw paraframe or them utility knives. Yeah. All right, well, let's start with a pocket check. And hey, Dirk, pleasure. I hope you're enjoying the slippies, getting a lot of hard work done with them. Just kidding. Okay, so today, what was I carrying? And then I want to hear what you were carrying. I had this on me today, the venerable, lovely, stout, and wonderful Zero Tolerance 620. This is one of my few LMAX knives. I replaced the very generic kind of looking G10 handle scale with a aftermarket micarta scale. And forgive me, I cannot remember where I found this. But when I was looking for it and finally did find it, I'd say about maybe 2 years ago at this point, it was very hard to find any aftermarket scales for these models because they had been discontinued. And by these models, I mean the 620 right here and then the 630, which is the ZT version of the CQC8, the banana blade, the curvy clip point. I like the way it's kind of taken on my I'm trying to remember what Advanced Knife Pro calls it, personal stink signature, personal filth signature. Right here, it's sort of patinaed. I'm sorry, what did G-Man just say? I was just about halfway through that. Knife control would be horrible. It would be the blunted chef's blades of Great Britain that we read about a year ago. Hey, Wolf Scout, pleasure to have you here. We were just taking a look at my my 620. Beautiful Tanto. Look at this. If Edwin is there, Edwin, what is the shape of this? I know this is taken from a real live. I think I need to jack the light up a little. This is taken from a real life Emerson knife, and I just don't know the name of it, but a limited thing. I like the shape of that Tanto quite a bit. Also, one that I have not carried in a coon's age, which actually that means raccoon, but that sounds terrible in this day and age. So I do apologize. Let me say I haven't carried this in a long while, and this is the pink broken skull. The pink broken skull. Now, this thing is in CTS XHP, and this is a great ride in your waistband knife. Really, really thin, very capable with the axis lock, triad lock. Oh, what a fool! What a first year mistake there, DeMarco. And then I got the CTS XHP fully flat ground clip point 4-inch blade, which I love, and then the Snaggletooth Tactical aluminum pink that matches these scales nicely. Now, these scales, especially on this side, since it rides in jeans frequently, have sort of taken on some of the dye from denim, and it's just not coming out. This side, it looks pretty pristine. And then lastly today, I was carrying in my back pocket the Pilar 3, the CRKT Vox Pilar 3. This is the one, as you can tell by the one of the viewers here hit me to this. The aluminum silver colored backspacer is signifies that it's 8CR13 MOV blade steel. And then they have D2 with a sort of brass color or something, gold color. So that's what I was carrying. What were you all carrying today? It was a beautiful day where I am here, 72 or 3 degrees today. It was crazy. It was warm. Took a walk in the woods behind our building at work. And apparently there's a nesting pair of hawks back there. Try prying my knives from my cold, dead fingers. That's kind of how I feel. My daughter said, "So would you turn your knives into the government?" And I just looked at her like, yeah, come on. What do you think? Shane says, ordering my Hellraiser tomorrow. That's Red Horse Tactical. Is that what they're called? Red Horse? Is that what the knife company is called, Shane? Let me know. I swear to God, I've had a bit of COVID fog. The brain, I can't, I'm having trouble recalling names of people. I mean, I've always been bad with names, but I've been worse recently. And other recall it's a little off. QSP Penguin, I love that knife. And well, I love it. I've never even held it, but I love the look of it. I love the audaciously round point. It's a sheep's foot. It looks extremely useful. And it comes in denim micarta, which I think is very lovely. And the Victorinox Tinker, as usual. This is a common carry for you. Sounds like a good combination. The ZT920, a beautiful Les George design, and a Benchmade proper with fly tie scales. Now, Caleb, your 920, I think, is this new and special? I might be thinking about someone else. But someone that I follow on YouTube has been showing, or on Instagram has been showing a 920 recently that's nicely anodized and very kind of customized. Is that you? Shane, carried my Manix 2 in 20 CV today. 20 CV is one of my favorite steels. I like it. And I don't know how, like, for instance, M390 compares, because I have very much more 20 CV, but I seem to think that even though it's so hard and so nice with the edge retention, it seems to be very easy to strop. Is that true, or is it just me? Pocket check, small Wilson Combat Sabenza, beautiful. And 21 at GEC 15 Boys Knife clip point in antique yellow jig bone, baby. Yeah, I love that. I love that. That's definitely my favorite, the yellow jig bone and the autumn. The autumn jig bone too, with a little bit of red in it, stuck in the grooves. So beautiful. Hey, Chris, good to have you here. Chris Wolf. Blade Ogre was carrying his ProTech Emerson CQC7, excellent, and Tops Interceptor from somebody. That topped. So I'm curious. I sent you a sheath that I made, sort of optimized for in the waist carry. I'm curious if you've tried that out yet and what you think. I think maybe it flares out a little bit too wide at where you put the blade in, but it was way easier to carry kind of under wraps in that sheath than the one it came in. Though the one it came in is great. I really do like it. That Emerson CQC7 is pretty cool too. I like that the CQC7 was made by a number of different companies. Black Multicam says Signature Series Microtech SOCOM Elite, very nice, and a Microtech Exoset in the back pocket. That Exoset is so cool, and I have to say, I really love how they did, how they treated the Tanto design. I think it was a smart design move to put that rather large hole in it. It seems to, I don't know, something about it. It just seems right with that design. Even though stuff might get stuck in there and then maybe be drawn into the blade, I'm not sure if that's, or into the guts of the knife. I'm not sure if that's an issue. Civivi Riffle, a very good looking knife in brown micarta, and Sandvik, and Artisan Tacet. The Tacet, what is the Tacet? In Damascus and carbon fiber. I can't think of what the Tacet is, but that sounds awesome. He's got Dave, you've got a CJRB video or an artisan video coming out. Is that what it is? Hollywood Tactical says, my Grail knife for my pink knife collection. You know, it's my girls. They softened me to pink, but this is all about cognitive dissonance. What? Oh, it's just what? It's pink. How could it be harmful? It's just, it only works for that first moment, but and then you get the handcuffs. NAF Sergeant says, well, good to have you here, sir. Carried the Strider SNG today, and now I'm at home and carrying the Grail, which the unboxing of will go live tomorrow. Okay, all right, so check it out. Going live tomorrow, we have a Grail knife NAF Sergeant will be unveiling, so definitely check that out. I have out in front of me my SMF. I was in kind of a stridery mood today too. Pulled it out just to have by my side. Wolf Scout currently have a Hinderer fire attack and a Pena Trapper Slippy in pocket, but have my knife case next to me. So yeah, that could change at any moment. That's funny. But hey, that's classy carry. You got a Hinderer and a Pena. That's nice. And one of them is a locking knife, and then the other, if you need it in front of the more civilized folk, you can pull out the slip joint. I like that carry combo. Penny says, I was carrying the mini bug out, other half carrying Super Freak. That's Super Freak. Now, I've never had the Freak, but that Super Freak looks, with the red liners and stuff, and the G10 sculpted, that just looks awesome. I was carrying, hey, Dirk, I was carrying my Grail knife that came in yesterday, as well as the Kubi KB237. I don't know what Kubi that is, but I do like their designs. They tend to be unusual, and they tend to have some menace. And now I'm curious, Dirk, we will, I guess, be seeing an unboxing of this Grail knife, or what is it? Zinker Urban Trapper, very cool knife. And the Zerk Skit, with Zerk scale and Damacor blade. Very cool. I really like the slender look of the Urban Trapper, and I've perused the actual custom versions of those. I can't remember where.Maybe it was Arizona Custom Knives, a new place I like to haunt, which is dangerous. And I do like that. Zinker is one of the guys who I think does speed holes right. I like how he does them. Cold Steel Airlight, Witch Blade, and a Roper Trapper in green jig bone. I'm unfamiliar with Roper. Michael, are you in Great Britain? And Cold Steel Airlight. Now, I gotta say, I really like, I concur with Slicey Dicey here. I really think, Cold Steel makes excellent Tantos, and I really like the Airlight Tanto. I think it's a really nice looking. It reminds me a little bit of the Chris Reeve Knives Tanto. Microtech Stitch. Oh, I'm happy for you. For me today was my mail call. Oh God, it's kind of nasty, and as the kids may say. That's funny. Oh my God, I love the Stitch. I love it in all of its configurations. The Borka, the customs, and then oh my God, that the Stitch auto seems to open up just like a mule. Barry Levitt says, hi, Bob from Colorado. Hello, Barry. Hello, Barry from Virginia. I am carrying a knife that you would really like. It's called a Shadow Tech Talon C312. Sorry. Okay. Shadow Tech Talon C. It's a 3.5-inch blade, Tanto fixed blade, made of 3/16 inch thick 1095. I'm sorry with the numbers. I'm like dyslexic with numbers. 1095 steel weight is 7 ounces and a Spyderco Dragonfly. Well, of course, awesome on the Dragonfly, but this Shadow Tech Talon, that sounds really interesting, especially 3.5, like a small fixed blade knife with a small handle. I love it. I'm always half tempted to buy the pink Emerson CQC7 when they're available. Yeah, why not? I mean, if you get if you tire of it or whatever, you can have new scales made or just put something else on. But I kind of like the the surprise of it. Of course, the pink knife is never the featured in the front right pocket knife, but Hollywood Tactical says LA was only 57 degrees high today. Wow. We had it like, oh man, it was awesome. But I know it's dipping back down and we're going to get sleet and all sorts of crap. Schrade Army, well, I don't know about the sleet. I think I might be making that up, but I think it's getting cold and raining. Schrade Army knife. Import from Germany by Schrade in the 90s. Okay. Does it look like, is it a very rounded off drop point and a single Quillian guard? I'm curious if that's the one. My trusty Medford Proxima, the Proxima. I'm trying to think of that one now too. The Proxima, I in my mind conflate that with the Nosferatu, which is, God, I really like that design. The Nosferatu is just so nice. Let's see. Hollywood Tactical says Spyderco Watu. So that's the smaller one of the African ethnic series, right? The recent one. And the CRKT carbine neck knife. Love the neck knives. I really do. I should do a video on neck knives. I have a few of them. And thank you, Monster. Always hype. Thank you. I appreciate that. Everyone, hit that like button. Come on. Don't make Monster have to say that. Don't make Monster have to remind me to say that. Dirk says, yes, it is Red Horse that makes the Hellraiser. I like it. I like it. I feel like there's, how I get. I feel like there might be one too many design elements. Prove me wrong. Battle Elf. Good to have you here, Prince. Microtech Combat Troodon. Yes. And a Spyderco. Oh, the Street Beat. Spyderco Street Beat. What an amazing combo. That's a great carry combo. Curious about the blade on that Combat Troodon. COVID fog is real. It took me a long time to get back to being as stupid as I was before. Yeah. I seem to have surpassed it. SE3 and Fox Karambit. Nice. Is it the 599 or the 579? That could actually be a very oblique way of asking for someone's hand size. Chris Wolf says Spyderco Ronin EDC. Awesome. The Ronin, that's the that's in the series of the Yojimbo, etc. Right? Hey James, good to have you here, sir. What do you got? I know you just recently got a like purple carbon fiber Shirogorov. Is that right? Am I? KF Boston says Holt Haptic. Ooh, very nice. Hasn't left the pocket. Ladies and gentlemen, we have an aristocrat. Caleb says, nope, just a plain 920. Okay. Just a plain 920 is still an awesome knife. That's one of the ZTs I got rid of that I wanted quick money for, and now I kind of am sad about it. Emerson CQC8 with Engelson scales. Excellent, sir. Well, this is a good, as we continue, I will share with you, I've been realizing that I just carry Emerson knives. Like that's kind of my, even though I have a lot to choose from, I keep going back to them. It could be because I have a variety of them. I have 9, to some that might seem absurdly a lot, to some that might seem just like a drop in the bucket, but all different kinds to choose from. Carried ZT550. Okay, we talked about that last week. That is a coveted knife. That's the first one Hinderer did with ZT, and it's I have custom denim scales. Okay, I love the custom denim micarta. Got my Derek Monroe sigil Mark IV with me now. Sigil. Now I hear sigil and I immediately think of that worn Cliffy blade shape with the large opening hole. But I know that's a Marfione knife. So what is this Derek Monroe sigil? James, you make me feel like sometimes with the models, it's like I'm sitting down with someone who's about to order an awesome bottle of wine, and I'm like, enlighten me. Like I want to try this, and I want to see what that is. Carrying the Boker Kehan in copper today. I do like the shape of that knife. I'm glad that they didn't make it a half-inch larger, because then I would be obligated to buy it, because it is really a nice shape. Hey, Alex, how's it going? Damn, I finally made it. It's great to have you here, sir. I was just about to talk about the 5 most carried Emersons for the last 2 months of 2021. Benjamin says, a confident man wears pink. Yeah, you know what, though? Pink and yellow, you got to have the right skin tone. It does not look good on my pale skin. Tacit is Dirk Pinkerton Tanto design. Oh, okay. Oh, yes. It's kind of an upswept. Alex says, I had a brass micarta mini Boker Quaken. See, yet another variety of the mini Boker Quaken, the longest legs in the knife industry. Buffalo Bill pink. Love it. They put the lotion on their skin. That's the modern version. Poncho 151 says, got my BRK Bravo squad leader Monday, and with this nice weather in the Northeast, I've been putting it to use in the yard every day after work. Awesome. That's awesome. So the Bravo squad leader. I love Bark River knives. I had a Bravo and I got rid of it. It wasn't a squad leader. It was just a run of the mill Bravo, but I kind of wish I never got rid of that. Microtech Stitch today. Oh, that came in the mail. I answered to it. Got you. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I can't wait to see the video on that. There are some knives that sound good even on video. Sometimes people be like, can you hear it? Can you hear how awesome that sounds? And it's kind of like, it just sounds like a click. And then other knives over video sound awesome. And the Stitch seems to be one of them. Black Multicam says, I bought my Stitch maybe 6 months ago with the second wave of 2020. Maybe wore it once. Wore it. Going to bring it out of hibernation tomorrow. This is an interesting thing, because I think about this verb, to wear or to carry. And oftentimes when I'm thinking about the knife I'm going to use, I think of the word carry. And then when I'm picking the knife that's going to ride in my front right pocket and could possibly not get used all day other than pulling out and flipping, that one I'm wearing. It's kind of interesting. Dirk says, unboxing came out yesterday. Frank Fisher Battle. Ooh, I did not watch that. I have to see that. I love Frank Fisher knives and that whole ridiculously talented family. Thanks for the extra sheath. It fits great and carries well on the waist. Excellent. Man, that is a cool knife. That was a stash knife for a while in my house. And then it became dangerous to have it there. The Stitch kicks so hard that it almost kind of hurts. It's a loaner, but I'm allowed to buy it. So yeah, sweet. Does it have that awesome? It has like a really nice pattern milled into it. That's like blown up knurling. Canada, Bob. The Roper was like $25. Roper. Okay, I'm gonna have to check it out, because it also sounds like an excellent $25 slip joint. Sounds like the kind of slip joint you might want to buy if you want to learn about how to change the covers or work on slip joints, which is, I imagine, much trickier than these things that come with the screws. Kershaw slip joint Gadsden small trapper. Awesome. I love those Kershaw slip joints. Was 71 here today. Just heard thunder and sounded like sleet hitting the window. That's what's coming our way. So let me start with these 5 most carried Emersons here as we talk about what we were carrying. I think we've stumped Bob a bit tonight with our pocket checks. Yeah, exactly. If it's not a Emerson Bandito, I was gonna say, if it's not an Emerson, I might not know what it looks like right now. That Bandito is so sweet, and the Urban Jack GEC. I'm interested in that Urban Jack GEC. I am. It'd be cool to have the new cap lifter spear point blade with the comb. That'd be kind of cool too. Hinderer guy is here. Nice. All right, so right here, one of them is I got from Alex. I got your 6. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. Alex. Oh, that's ridiculous. Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. It's funny that should pop up right now as I show off this beautiful knife that I bought from you. You gave me a screaming deal on. This is, of course, the Emerson Iron Dragon, named after and dedicated to Richard Bustillo, a legendary Jeet Kune Do and Filipino Kali teacher under Dan Inosanto, that Ernest Emerson learned Kali from. And so he made this awesome, clip point recurve blade in his honor. But it is also unique in that it is a titanium frame lock with a insert there and bearings and the whole modern 9 yards. And some people don't care much for the, hey, Scott, good to have you here, sir. Oh, it's your first time with us? Well, enjoy. First time on live. Okay, cool. Yeah, it's great to have you here. So yeah, a lot of people do not like the regular Emerson setup, but this, I think, rang a lot of bells for people. Oregon Knife Guy, good to have you here, sir. Hey, everyone, I carried my ZT0. A lot of people carrying ZTs today. Me too. Carried my 5.62 as primary, QSP Gannett in my back right, Boker Barlow in my front right. That's right, you're a 4-knife guy. And the GEC 29 Stockyard Whittler in my slip in my front left. That Stockyard Whittler is awesome. It has an awl, right? That's what makes it Stockyard. CQC7 is my newest knife, and I'm in love. Scott, I've had 2 CQC7s, and things have happened to them. I've given them away. I gave one away, and I've sold one, and now I don't want to get another 7 until it's a right-hand grind. I really want a right-hand grind CQC7, like you can get from, exclusive from Tactical Elements, but they're sold out of that. I don't know if they're going to do them. Black Multicam is concurring. CQC7s are addicting. I have 6 now. I like the cut of your jib, sir. 6 CQC7s. You're up there in Edwin's rarefied air. Paul Meyer says, Thursday Night Knives. Why do people call Sachs blades Warncliffe blades? Warncliffes were curved and didn't come out until 1840s. Well, maybe. I've kind of thought about this because I've had people correct me in comments when I've used the term Sachs for a Viking knife. Oh, that Sachs was not, and then I kind of run into the limits of my knowledge. And then I haven't cleared it up yet. So first of all, I don't know. And second of all, I think maybe it's because we here in America are more used to the curved profiles, drop points, clip points, and then when the Tantos came around, the Tantos, but our at skinning blades, we're used to more of that curved thing. And when I would say 10 years ago, vaguely, Warncliffes kind of became what do you call it, fashionable or whatever. You started to see more and more Warncliffes on production designs and in custom designs. I think it was a new look and people just kind of lumped everything together, and I'm guilty of that too. It's like, oh, it's got a straight edge and it's still pointy, but it comes, instead of going up like a Tanto, it comes from, a lot of people call them reverse Tantos, and that really just sticks in my craw. But I think that might be it. Maybe as Americans, we're more used to a curved blade. Who knows? Hey, Bob, Rex 45 Shaman. Very nice, says very nice. Say I about Manny Z's carry. That Rex 45 has that yummy natural micarta handle, right? Marfione licensed the sigil. Oh, from Mark Monroe. Okay, so the Monroe Customs are the ones I've seen that have incredibly intricately milled handles with geometric patterns and cool Right? Am I right about that? Derek Monroe created the Microtech sigil. Okay. Says Max. Max, good to have you here, sir. Cute looking dog there. Michael says it's not pink, it's salmon. Ah, yes, salmon. I think salmon is like pink that's tending towards orange, right? If I were to put my art degree to use, if I were turquoise combat troodon, double-edged serrated on one side satin. I love it. Okay, so Battle Elf and everyone else who has an out the front, either Ultratech or Troodon. What I like to do when I'm not actually using it and just playing with it is open it, and I have the double-edged serrated on the top, like you mentioned. When I open it, I like to flip it to the serrated side and kind of use the incredible jimping on the bottom side as my thumb jimping and the slide as my forefinger. And it's a really forefinger guard, and it's a really comfortable grip. Kind of if you just flip it around. I'm curious if anyone else thinks that way. Hey, what's going on, sir? Peter is here with us. Therapeutic Edge. Multicam. Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. $4.99. I really appreciate that. Just for hanging out and talking knives. Yeah. Well, like I like to say, you got to save the relationships and don't burden people with all this stuff. I saw a funny meme of a bird squawking in another bird's face, and the bird is, it's just like some moment some nature photographer got on camera, and it was someone saying, me talking about knives, and it's true. So Black Multicam, I appreciate it. I really do. Thank you. Peter says, I finished the day with my new Olone Knives Boutron. That is a good looking knife. And you know what? I've never actually said the word Olone out loud. So it for a second there, it struck me as weird. Yes, sir. Gotta love the sevens. Congrats. So Edwin had an interesting moment when we did town hall with Ernest Emerson. Edwin came on and told a story about how he used a CQC7 in a dire situation to help rescue people and to help his community. And it was that knife in hand that gave him the confidence. I mean, among other things, a stout heart, chief among them. But that having that CQC7 in hand when he went out to help rescue people really made a big difference. And he got to tell that to Ernest Emerson, and you could tell there was a cool moment between the two of them. I think Emerson was pretty touched and kind of taken aback, like wasn't expecting to hear such a cool story about one of his knives. The Intermittent Gentleman, hello sir, I love your name. Didn't miss pocket check, carrying the medium Kaiser sheepdog with micarta scales. Okay, do I get it? I just have been kind of looking at Blade HQ with their XL sheepdog with micarta, black blade, natural micarta handle. Just looks so good. And that's a 4-inch blade. So I don't know. Looks like I should do that. Buy 2 CQC7s, one right, one left, and swap the blades. I love the Anno chisel grind. Oh, wait, what am I talking about? I love the Tanto chisel grind. Agreed. I do too, especially I would especially love it on the left side. From what I've read, a sax was a knife that the Vikings made out of broken European swords. They just added a slant wherever they were broken. That's cool. It's resourceful. The second most carried, well, it's not I'm not ranking these, but the second most carried Emerson that I'm going to show, Olone. Okay, Olone. All right. Thank you. Hey, it's good to have you here, Jake. It's funny. I saw that you corrected me, and I felt like such an idiot with the shark. I kept saying this is a shark Sasquatch because it had both on the birth card, and I think he meant to circle shark, but he didn't circle either one, and so it just said shark Sasquatch, and I thought that was the name of the knife. And you're like, no, Bob, that's just the shark. Just calm down there. Lavender Pants, how's it going? Good to have you here, sir. This is the broken in by slicey dicey Emerson Appalachian. This one I've been carrying a lot since I sanded the handle down under the clip. This is such a great knife and a great shaped Bowie knife. And lately, I would have to say, this is a little bit more commitment from a handle than I've been preferring lately. Like that curve, and you're in this position pretty much when you. But this handle has, I mean, this whole knife has just been drawing me in a lot lately. If you look at the really steep grind there, not steep grind, really shallow grind there, and then consider that it's a chisel, it's so incredibly sharp. So incredibly sharp. So I've been carrying this one a lot. And for an Emerson, it feels relatively light, if that's a thing. Slip Joint Joe, thank you, sir. I appreciate that. Speaking of slip joints, I think you may have mentioned this before. You like the I think you like the cotton sampler. I might be wrong. Anyway, I had it out on the table, and I saw your name, and I thought it might be you. Thank you very much, sir. It's greatly appreciated, and I'm glad you're here just watching and listening too. Appalachian is dig the hell out of Emerson's Bowies. I agree, man. He does a lot of them. He does do a lot of Bowies. I wish he would do more of this next knife that I'm going to show, the Sachs. This is one that I carry. This is still probably my favorite. Besides my early, my 2000, the year 2000 Emerson Commander, excuse me. But this one, I wish he would do more of this style blade and try it out in different style handles. I have frequently thought that this would look great with the handle from the Roadhouse, and because this actually, of all the Emerson handles, is the least comfortable to me. I don't care for 2-finger swales or choils there. I prefer either just a single choil and then the rest is for all the fingers. But when it's like this, to me, I kind of have to, Mr. G from Vermont in the house, or Mr. G in VT in the house. Good to have you here, sir. How are things up in the VT? I used to live near it and loved it when we would take trips into it. Has anyone seen the Hinderer XM18 Bowie with wood scales? That sounds nice. I need to get one of those. I need to possess and own one of those walnut. One of the wooden traditional 01 walnut style. What do they call them? Those Hinderers. I need a fixed Emerson Bowie. Edwin's been showing off a fixed 13 recently. I think he took on a camping trip. Caleb says, ever had a Gypsy Jack? No, I have not. That's sort of his version of a Navaja mixed with his interpretation of a knife that Keith Richards carries, I think. So I think that whole knife was made for Keith Richards, something like that. I know that he talked about it in the podcast, but I don't really remember. What does Jim carry? Jim, what are you carrying these days? He's got a number of pretty cool blue knives, and we're gonna find out what he's carrying. I'm gonna make a guess. Well, no, I'm not. Paul says Thursday Night Knives have been looking for the Emerson Sachs. It's awesome. It's awesome. And actually, I have Jock's from Jock's Knife. I have his Emerson Sachs, a mini, and I'm sending it to him tomorrow. It's been a pleasure having it, kicking it on my desk. I had the Emerson Quaken. It was pretty good. Ooh, the Quaken, all those upswept blades. I just saw a Persian on sale, and I just had spent too much money on these Randalls that I couldn't buy it. I have the Hinderer Eclipse 3.5 Bowie. It is very nice indeed. Yeah, I liked. I watched that video when you first got that. I think, did you swap scales eventually? That I love Hinderer's Bowies. I just love the shape of those Hinderer Bowies. They remind me a bit of the Mac V Sog shape with the double hump. I'm sorry, Jim. Can you go back to the last one real quick? I wanted to see what Michael says. What does Jim carry besides the show? Oh man, that's a burn sizzle. Yeah, well, what are you carrying, Jim? Let us know. Martin says it would be awesome if ZT made the Emerson Gypsy Jack. That would be cool. That would be cool. I just imagine Jim's EDC and ice pick. Yeah, exactly. Somewhere tucked sideways horizontally in the back of his belt. So when he's on the ropes, that would be cool. 2 of them. Got to have 2 because 1 is none, right? This one I've been carrying quite a bit. I love it. This is my only super Emerson. This is the Super CQC 15. It was a gift from our friend Bill. Thank you so much, Bill. I've been carrying this one a lot. It's hand filling. It's large, but I don't know, man. It seems almost less to carry chunky wise than the CQC 7. They're the same width, but something about the broadness of this package makes it seem smaller. Yes, that makes as much sense as it sounds like it makes. But it's just a felt thing, you know. It's all about feelings these days. How do you feel about it? Hollywood Tactical says the sax is just Old Middle English and Frisian for knife sword. It can have various lengths, shapes, etc. The word Saxon comes from sax. Oh, that's funny. I assumed it was the other way around. Interesting. Thank you, sir. So did the Vikings carry saxes or what? That still is I'm unsure of. So these are the 4, and then there's one more, and you'll probably guess it is the Elvia with the Tom Engelson scales, blades and such scales on it. They are an apropos maroon, kind of dried blood color. I think it's really a nice, fetching color for such a menacing and useless unless you need to use it blade. It's not useless. What am I talking about? I mean, actually, you could totally use this for a lot of things. Chief among them, fruit and, I don't know, opening boxes and stuff. You could do all sorts of stuff with this. However, I wouldn't be inclined to. I would be inclined to carry something else as well. I like your Commander. Thanks. I do too. I love that thing. It's still solid as hell after 21 years, but that hasn't been 21 years of beating on it, to be fair. Hollywood Tactical, always appreciate the knowledge bombs. Yes, indeed, says Benjamin. Edwin, so easy to carry, right? Yes. Oh, so Edwin, did you see the picture of the waved custom version? I know you did. That is what I want to see. I can't wait to see this in a waved version. This, of all knives, this is just screaming for the wave, just begging for it, you know? If not, I might have to drill a hole in it and put a zip tie through that blade. No, I'm just kidding. I would never do that, of course. But so look at this. Look at this. Isn't that a beautiful, beautiful picture of some really cool knives? Well, I think it is anyway. I just love the Emersons, and like today, I've also been doing my ZTs a lot. My ZT Emersons. I have the 620, 630, 640, all with aftermarket micarta, and you know, Mark. Micarta makes it better. I was trying to do the cheddar makes it better. There was a prototype once upon a time called the Kaiser sax. It was a Braganet's design, and I was very excited for it, but alas, it never came to be. I only know Ivan Braganet's, I think primarily from Epic Snuggle Bunny. He collected some of his knives, and yeah, I remember one that was quite prized by Austin, Epic Snuggle Bunny, and it was a Tanto. It had some sort of printing on the handle, I think, or something like that. But I do remember it being a cool sax. So that's a bummer. I wish they'd come out with that. Everyone loves that shape. Yes, Vikings from Norway, Denmark, and even Germanic carried the sax. So, Paul, I presume you've watched the History Channel show, and hope you like it. I just finished it. My wife and I watched it from the start, when it started, and God, man, it was so good. I loved that, and I love the way they talk. They talk like this: I will salt your lands and spread the body of your child across the land. I will buy the Elvia when it's waved. I think that's it. You know what? I have something like that. I will buy the Hinderer Maximus. Hopefully they make it again when they make that beautiful double-edged dagger with the tri-way pivot. for me, it's like I'm not going to spend that money without that being. I want that knife in particular to be on bearings. I have a number of old school number. That number is 3. I have 3 old school hinderers that are on the Nylotron, and they work great. But definitely would like the dagger to be as easy to put in as possible. Shane says, "Isn't the proponent a Sachs?" Well, it's a big old Wharncliffe, right? Right? The proponent, that's the big giant artisan cutlery Pinkerton designed Sachs type Wharncliffe thing. So yes, what would government mandated knife control look like? What would they not let us carry? So I sometimes have occasion to go into DC, and I usually take my pocket knife and just pull it up and drop it into my pocket so the clip isn't visible. Hey, Benny, good to see you here, sir.
Hey, buddy. My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
It's a pleasure. So I do wonder if it would be that kind of situation where you would just have to be even more discreet, but it would be overlooked, perhaps. I don't know. Curious. So Benny, how you doing tonight, sir?
Doing great. Interested in this conversation. I know gun control regulations quite intimately, so this should be a fun talk.
So how's that? How do you come about knowing gun control intimately?
I'm an avid firearms collector as well as a knife collector. And in doing so, you have to really know the rules and regulations.
Between the topic and the weapons on the wall, I feel like I'm watching the History Channel. This is not a complaint. Cool. Thank you. So yeah, you have to know your whenever you're buying a knife secondhand, a lot of people put know your local knife laws. I'm not to blame if you're thrown in the clink, but with guns, I would imagine the stakes are just so much higher.
Yeah, there's a lot of rules. They vary from state to state, and it's your responsibility to understand them ultimately. So the stakes are high. You're talking about felonies, and then you're losing your civil rights to own those firearms. So stakes are high. So
Black Multicam asks, is Bob a gun guy as well? I enjoy guns and have them and enjoy shooting them, especially with my brother, but with anyone. But that's one of the bonding activities my brother and I do together. And I love the mechanisms. I love the mechanics and the aesthetics, but just not nearly as much as knives. And that's just how I'm wired. But I am very happy. I'm happily stocked, but I don't have I have a well-rounded it's not a collection. I have a well-rounded thing, but a selection, if you will, but I don't have that need to keep acquiring firearms like I do knives. Wolf Scout says, how does one join? Would be down to jump in for a bit. That would be excellent. Go to TheKnifeJunkie.com/join. Make sure you have some good light on your face. Benny, your light looks much better this week. Thank you. Get some light on you and get some sort of ear connection so that we're not getting echoes, and jump right on, man. Love to see you. Like everything in the government, the rules, Shredder says, the Shredder Knife Review says, like everything in the government, the rules will be made by people who would have no idea what they're talking about. Yeah, of course. Yes, I have an intimate view of that from time to time. So, you know of what you speak, and there would be a lot of emotion brought into it. I think emotion is a weapon that is used a lot these days. How could they ban knives without coming to grips with the fact that they've used lawfully by people daily from all walks of life? That is true. That is true. Like I've said before and shown off, you go to Home Depot, you buy one of those. I was calling it a drywall knife, and that was wrong. It's an air conditioning duct knife, I believe. It's a big dagger. a big stout dagger that saws through metal. So, in my opinion, knife laws have been getting less and not more thanks to knife rights. I'm really not worried. No. Yes, I agree with you 100%. And I actually, I'm not worried about this at all either. This is something that came up in the car with my daughter, and I thought, I live in Texas. Nice. I thought, what would it look like? How could it would be so unenforceable. And that's the other thing. Like, I'm glad. So we're talking about guns. We're talking about knives. I am glad that this country is saturated in guns and knives and weaponry in the hands of citizens, I got to say, because I feel like, especially right now where we're exhibiting such weakness to the rest of the world, this would be a prime time for, let's go check out America. Let's go check out the new world, and boats start landing. But like they said during World War II, there's a gun behind every blade of grass. So hopefully that stays away. Ban guns, ban knives, then ban martial arts and gyms. Yeah, exactly. And then you're doing dances and pretending you're not doing martial arts.
Don't forget body armor.
And body armor, of course. So, Kane, how's it going, sir?
Hey, what's up? Can you hear me?
How you doing? Yeah, I can hear you. Can hear you just
Okay.
fine. How are you,
This
sir?
This is Wolf Scout.
Wolf Scout. Awesome. Good to have you, Wolf Scout.
Hang on. This light is weird. Can you see me?
Yeah, I can see you. You're a little dark, but so what's on your mind tonight, Kane?
Oh, I was just jumping in because wanted to jump in for first time for a while.
All right, so show me
a long time
watcher.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, let me see what you've been carrying.
Here, let me
what was your
get the
EDC
glare
today?
on my glasses. Hang on. So the daily is.
Ooh, look at that. So that's the hinderer you were talking about, the fire attack.
Yeah.
That's a beaut.
It's got RC Blade Works, burlap micarta scale.
Nice.
And it's the battle bronze.
Beautiful. Is that that's a stonewash blade? Yeah.
Yeah, it's the stonewash.
Nice.
And I'm rocking the phosphor bronze, or not the phosphor. This is the Teflon.
Oh, the Teflon. Ooh,
So
an old schooler.
Super drop sheddy.
Beautiful. What about you, Benny? What was your main carry today?
So I had two. I had the antique yellow jig bone number 15. Real nice patina on it.
Dude, that is so beautiful. I love the single-bladed 15s, and I don't have. Oh, I do have one, but it's not in clip point. It's in spear point, which to me is always inferior. Beautiful.
This was the mail call this week.
Oh, look at that. That's the Wilson Combat Sabenza 21. That's a small, right?
That's a small.
Oh,
when
that's
I originally handled a small like several years ago, I didn't think it was for me, but when I got my hands on it this time, I had an immediate appreciation for it, and unfortunately wanted another one. So you know how that is.
Yeah, I've been looking at that in single blade recently. I love that, man.
It's really cool.
So, Kane, what was it? You held up a slip joint. Did you freeze up? Let's see.
This
We'll
is
come back
the
to
Pena Trapper. This is the Pena Trapper that I was saying.
Oh, nice. What are the materials on the handle there? I can't make that out.
So
That's the burlap?
Crosscut micarta on the main cover. And then it's just a regular micarta on the bolster.
Mm-hmm. That's a beaut, man. That is beautiful. I love that blade shape.
This is one of my favorite of my Pena collection. The walk and talk is just amazing on that thing.
Well, Benny is a big Pena fan.
Yeah, I follow Benny.
Yeah, thank you, brother.
Yeah, no problem, man. Hang on. Let me get this light. Like, I'm in the dark here. It looks like.
Sure. So Benny, you got this is the new cap lifter with the Coke bottle shield, and that's the drop point. I mean, that's the spear point blade. That's the one. To me, that's the one. That is such a nice looking spear point blade. Usually I'm yawning at spear point blades, even though they're very useful and, but to me, that's a looker. And plus you get the benefit of that.
Turn this. There we go.
Of that downward flat before it graduates into the belly. It acts kind of like a recurve. It's kind of like how a lot of a traditional clip point blades kind of angle down to help that cut. Are the peñas too stiff? Michael Morgan wants to know from you two peña junkies.
No.
Peñas too stiff?
No. The peñas that I've had are really nice. Like they're dialed in perfectly.
Is this a birdvis? What's this?
No, this is a Willem Steenkamp.
Thank you. Oh, Steenkamp. Oh, cool.
Yeah, this is a Barlow.
Oh, beautiful.
It's like a sheep's foot. It's like a sheep's foot warnie.
Man. Let's see. Quack Fam says it's knife country here in Arizona. We like knife country. Ooh, what do you got there, Benny?
This thing will chop your fingers off.
You got to be careful with the closing.
Pull.
Oh. Damn, that's beautiful, man. Very nice.
It's this like creme brulee rich light for the main cover.
Nice.
And then the shield is a crosscut dark brown micarta, and the collar around the.
That's a nice piece.
South African guy.
Benny, what were you holding up there?
So I had this one on Instagram today. This is the number 77 Northfield Barlow with match striker pull. They did 2 different clip point profiles on these. And this was the second round of clip points, and it's the same as the 15 clip point. People were asking for it. And this is the only 77 they ever did in a jig bone. All the rest of them were saw cut.
Ah. All right, let me ask you, this is a larger sized knife, right?
Yeah,
for
about
the GECs?
About 3 1/4 versus 3.45. If I can line these up.
3 1/4. Oh yeah.
See that?
Oh, I'd like to have that. That's a nice size, and it's not too big, but it's bigger than the 15. I like that.
Probably from a usability standpoint, an all-arounder, this is the one. For me, from a collectability standpoint, I like these. They're both extremely usable. But these were just so massively popular the minute they came out. They were hard to collect.
Yeah. God.
People just going crazy over.
There you go, Bob.
What you
Here's
got?
the one that. Boom.
Oh,
Birdvis.
There we go. There's your birdvis. That's beautiful, man. Oof.
Is that like muslin micarta or whatever they call that?
No, this
muslin.
So this one
muslin.
Is. Wow, this is really weird camera angles. This is this. It's a rich light, and Nick calls it Maple Grove Rich Light.
Nice.
There's that.
I'd like to have.
This isn't the V2 that he has out right now. That he's making a bunch. That mirror.
Lighting's tough unless you have a studio.
Version 1.
Yeah, that's nice, man.
Yeah.
Hey, I wanted to talk about a couple of things here. Hang on, before we take a look at that, Benny.
All right.
Well, actually, let's take one more from Benny because I want to get your take on a couple of new knives here.
Warncliffe Sachs. I mean, I call this a Warncliffe.
Yeah.
Everybody else calls it a Warncliffe. This is in a natural or a brown canvas micarta. This is Ricardo Romano from Brazil. Teardrop.
That's a grail of mine. One of his knives.
God, that's beautiful. I love that handle. That teardrop shape is. I don't have any. I don't have anything with the teardrop.
Siri interrupted you.
I was saying I like that teardrop handle shape. I haven't seen that.
Similar to an 85.
No. I'm not saying I haven't seen that. What I was saying is actually I don't have one, and I like it with that easy access and again that spear point blade. So, either of you guys like Shirogorov or Sinkovich, Dmitry Sinkovich?
I haven't had a Shiro in hand yet, but I definitely would get one for sure.
All right,
It's on my list.
All right, let me show you this knife. We saw on Knife News today.
Beautiful lines on Shiro.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So check
Super
this out.
smooth from what I hear.
And Dmitry Sinkovich, who's also what is he? I think he's Belarusian. He's from. Oh my God! So this is his collaboration knife with Shirogorov. I think it's his third, maybe. But I gotta say, this is a knockout. Is this anything that appeals to you guys? I mean, look at this triple bevel blade, and you've got that milled topographical handle. Now, I don't have any Shirogorovs either, but and I won't have this one. Benny, that's a Warncliffe. Says Paul.
Speaking of
so I don't know. What do you guys think of this sucker?
I think it's beautiful, and as a lefty, I'm excluded from a lot of these knives. You say, have you ever owned one? It's like, I'm going to own it, and it'll never feel right. Now, if these guys made a left-handed version, I'm first in line. Yeah, right on, man. So to me, it's no one wants to hear us complain. We're 10% of the population.
And yet you're 66.6% of the population right now. So
that's a rare deal.
Dirk,
so yeah, to answer your question, it's beautiful, and I would love to own one.
Yeah, I would love to own one too. The one misstep. Take care, Dirk. It's always a pleasure. The one misstep I would say with this sucker is the blade length. It's a 3.4 inch or 3.34, which feels like a betrayal. I'm like, this should be at least a 4-inch. Well, this should be right around the 4-inch mark for just the way it looks. I feel, but maybe then it would be a little too wide.
How long is the handle?
I don't know. I would imagine it looks like a pretty good ratio there.
It's almost 8 inches, right? Overall length.
Let me see here. Let's see.
I think it's just under
3.42 inches. Yeah. And a 4-inch handle. So yeah, it's 7.42 inches, if my mathematics are correct. And believe me, I've had a lot of 5th grade math, and I'm not even helping. My wife is helping, but it's around. It's in the atmosphere, so I'm remembering some of the stuff. Quack says, interesting grind lines on that. I agree. So they, in reading the article, this is a design that has been designed by Shiro, but made before. Designed by Dmitry Sinkovich and made before by Custom Knife Factory, I believe. Is that who did it? But since they did a really fancy handle on this version, they figured they had to do something really special with the blade. So they came up with that triple grind or whatever you want to call it. And I just think it looks so cool. And it seems like intuitively like it would be an excellent performer with that kind of profile. So one other knife I want to show you guys that is very interesting to me, and it's because it's a historical thing, and it's being modern. What's that?
Here's that real quick, since we were talking Warnies. This is that Craig Brown Cortex.
Huh. That's beautiful. Let's see that. Yeah, that's a warrant. Yeah. Oh yeah. How do you open that with the hand with the hole there?
So it's got this. Wow, my lighting is really weird.
It's got this little. Yeah, I'm seeing tab. That. Yeah.
So it's a flipper, the top flipper, but you can also
Spidey flick it.
Yeah, you can Spidey flick it, and you can even thumb flip it. So this is a guy here in Washington State. He's a one-man CNC shop up in Blaine, Washington. Does everything in-house.
Let's see that handle.
So this is the lock side.
Fancy.
It's a black micarta, and it's my light is so weird. This is a bronzed titanium.
Very nice.
And then hang on. So there's that, and then here's his LHCX version, the other model, which is a
regular flipper. Ooh, that's a nice looking blade there.
This is all backwards. I'm trying to.
Yeah, don't worry about it. You just keep, you can come on and you can check out different ways of holding it up. In the meantime, let's get that Smatchet in there, Jim. You guys know the Smatchet? You have to know what the Smatchet is, right?
You teach me. I don't know what a Smatchet is.
The Smatchet.
Something hatchet mixed with a something or other?
Yeah. The Smatchet. No, it sounds like a hammer and an axe, but actually the Smatchet was designed by who was it, Fairbairn, or it wasn't I think it was Colonel Fairbairn designed it. And the Smatchet was something used by World War II special forces guys. It was a big double-edged leaf-shaped blade that could be used for fighting, but also for weed whacking and stuff like that. But it was about a 12-inch blade, very dramatic curves on both sides, and a nice symmetrical handle that looked exactly like this. So Boker has come out with a version of that beloved knife, and it's beloved to me. It's something I have always wanted, and actually Boker has been sort of the caretaker of the design ever since. Well, for a long time, they've been the only ones pretty much making Smatchets. Though Sniper Blade Works is now doing their version of the Smatchet, which is pretty cool.
That's cool, Bob. Another folding dagger for your collection.
Yes. I need, but as you can tell from that handle shape and the sweep in, this is not a double edge, and that's the one disappointment to me. I am, especially after talking with Israel Bacchus from Arcane Design. He's one of 3 people that I can think of, besides Rick Hinderer and Brian Nadeau, who have made beautifully successful folding double-edged daggers. And by beautifully successful, I mean the designs don't look awkward. Obviously, when you're making a folding dagger, the handle has to be wide enough to accommodate the entire blade, and enough so that your thumb pressed in that channel is not going to make contact. So it's got to be wider. So I think that's one reason, that and legality also is one reason why, or 2 reasons why knife makers don't really make many folding daggers. But
so what does that look like folded? Does it not cover that swedge along the top?
Right, exactly. If you look at the folding Smatchet, you can tell by the sort of wasp waisted handle there that the hump is going to protrude. Also, I mean, just in reading the article, they say, but and almost the top, that swedge almost looks, like it's almost as thin as the other grind. Like you could almost put a double edge on there, but of course you'd be a fool doing that, because you'd have to build a sheath for it, because it wouldn't be an effective folder at that point. But interesting how when you make a folding dagger, it takes a lot of hard work to get the pivot in the middle, and you can tell here that they didn't quite get the pivot in the middle. Right?
If you look at a lot of slip joints, the pivots are not right in the middle on ones that have screw construction, or if you really look at the bolster in the right light, you can see the pin, because you have the spring in that handle alongside the blade, and therefore it's not centered naturally,
Right.
So I have a little bit of forgiveness when I see that kind of thing based on the reality of it.
Actually, I don't begrudge anyone for not centering the pin or centering the pivot. Sometimes actually the shape of the blade absolutely relies on it. And then things like friction folders, you're very rarely have a centered pivot. Yeah, I have no issue with that. But in speaking with Israel, he was saying that one of the main design challenges was he wanted it centered, but it took a while to figure out the engineering to get everything to be symmetrical when closed and when opened. It's cool. I think that's an interesting kind of challenge, as compared to the challenge of like doing your taxes or something like that.
Yeah, it's got a little creative flair to it.
Yes,
certainly.
Exactly. So what other modern knives are you into these days, Benny?
So big into the Chris Reeves. I really enjoy those. I have a Ultratech, so I have an out the front that I could flip the clip around, another lefty friendly knife. I went through a little cold steel phase for a while and bought some of the lockbacks.
Some of the big ones?
Yeah, I had like a Recon one. There was one they made. They probably didn't sell a bunch of them. I don't even know if it's in the catalog, but it had what do you call it? A Scandi grind, and like a gray plastic handle, and it was super cheap.
The Wolf Pup.
Yeah, it had wolf in it. It's probably the Wolf Pup.
Or the Fin.
That thing was Fin Wolf. Is the Fin Wolf. That thing was so unbelievably sharp. I couldn't believe it.
That's a great knife. I don't have one. You're talking about the folding version, right?
Folding.
Yeah, because the Fin Wolf, I believe, is the. Well, it doesn't matter.
I could be wrong. It's been a while since I bought it. Certainly.
Yeah, I know that they make one called that's similar, but it's a fixed blade version. But yeah, I got one for my brother because he goes every year with his son, my nephew, out to the Sierra Madre, and they go on a camping trip, and he brought that. He's brought that several times, and he says it's awesome that with that Scandi grind. And they use some sort of a weird, it's not a weird steel, but they use a Krups 4116 or some steel that, is a lesser steel, but has, he says it performs great. Just strap it up a little bit and you're good to go.
I really like that Scandi grind. I've bought some Puko knives before. Like I bought a Spyderco. Is it Puko or Puko?
Puko, yeah.
Puko, right? It's a Finnish knife, I think. And like Morin knives, and there's something about that just zero grind, where there's not that secondary bevel. That stuff just, you can get it right through wood like it's nothing.
Fin Wolf is a cold steel folder with a Scandi grind and a triad lock.
That's the one.
So okay, I wanna show a knife here that so someone reached out to me and said it was very, obviously not a native English speaker. Definitely Chinese from her name and from the origin of the knife. Basically, we have a new knife company, and we want you to look at one of our knives. We'll send it to you for free. And I couldn't resist. I knew like my thoughts, and I picked a kukri that had 4 that I could choose from. And hey, Wolf, well, you know how to get back on. So they sent me 4 options. The best looking one, and the one that I thought that I would be the most me, was a kukri. And sorry, we're out of that one. I'm like, okay, send me whatever. And so they sent me this, and it's marketed as an outdoors knife. Okay, so take a look at this. All right, and it's in a pleather sheath. And okay, so I accepted this going into this knowing that it wasn't going to be exactly for me. So I am actually, this is one of the few times I'm taking notes, and I'm going to give a review that is worthy of receiving a free knife, albeit a knife I'm not going to use, but still they sent me something for free. And I said I would do a video, so I'm gonna do them a good video, and I'm going to give them some good stuff. But I'm going to be honest about how, if they really want to be successful in the knife world, as opposed to like 12-year-old kids and that kind of thing, these are some things you might want to do to improve this knife for knife people. That's basically my approach. Now, if your demographic is 12-year-old boys, then you've got it nailed. Okay, so you got a pleather sheath here with a good snap retention. But look at this. This is your outdoor knife from Ned Foss. This is called the Tiger knife, and I mean, I pulled this out and I was like, okay, this feels good. Like the handle feels good. It's definitely a small handle. Now my hands are medium. Sometimes some gloves I can get them into a small glove, sometimes. So they're not big hands. I don't have big meat hooks. And this is kind of feeling snug already to me. But the first thing I thought is, what is this? Is this supposed to be a finger choil? Like for the smallest fingers in the world? Like, what is this feature here? And then I started thinking like, oh, well, maybe it's for like, they're marketing this as an outdoor knife. Maybe it's for like scooping up a hot pot that's boiling over the fire. I'm like, no, that's ridiculous. Your hand would be way over the steam. And then I realized maybe that's supposed to be a ferro rod striker or something. I mean, this does have vaguely, 90 degrees here. So you could strike a ferro. Anyway, it's a very awkward design feature. And then the actual sharpness of the edge starts right here. So when you have this in hand, your edge starts 2.5 inches. I measured it earlier. It looks like a county fair booth knife.
Flea market.
Yeah.
Flea market special.
So, maybe it needs a compass and some fish hooks. Yeah. For the 12-year-old crowd. Well, I don't know. This could be, the aspiring 12-year-old assassin knife. Okay, so I'm looking at this and I'm thinking this is neither here nor there. This is, it's got a lot of the really like that tiger. We could definitely go back to that, please. We could definitely do some good chopping with that one. It's funny because there's a video when you go to the Ned Foss website, and then it says Knife SD here. It's like identity crisis after identity crisis here. But when you go to the Ned Foss website, they show a guy and he takes a stick and he chops it, holds it and cuts it in half a couple of times, and he like carves with the knife a little bit. And I do have to say it's sharp. It came quite sharp. I don't know what kind of steel it is or whatever, but it's just interesting. Look at this bolster. There's just a nick there, and there's a wood handle and the fit and so the kind of knife it is. It's just interesting that this company reached out. If you go to their website, they have some fancy knives, some Damascene kind of knives, and a lot of mislabeled, like this is under bushcraft, and this is not a bushcraft knife. If I had a website with selling these knives, I would have this under tactical because it kind of looks like a swashbuckler knife or something with that big harpoon and all that. But I think I've avoided some of this in the past, but I for some reason I couldn't resist. I'm like, yes, send it. So now I'm going to give them an honest review. And like I said, I'll because I accepted something for free, basically. And of course, this is not in the caliber of knives that we all like and that we collect or anything like that. But I feel like since I accepted it for free, eyes open, they deserve for me to give them a real back in Damascus. It doesn't have that smell though.
What's the retail price on that bad boy?
Huh? Don't even know.
That's do funny. They advertise the steel? Is it pot metal? Is it spring steel? Is it S35 VN?
It is not pot metal. I've had plenty of, in my younger years. This is definitely nice and sharp, and it seems sharpenable, unlike pot metal. But it doesn't have that smell of
like copper. Like
yeah. But hang on. So it's on Amazon, and well,
I imagine it could do worse as long as it isn't. Is it under $10? Because then I might not feel so bad. If it's like 40 or $50, I'm gonna pass.
So since this came to me for free, I wasn't thinking about it, but yeah, as it goes. So Jim, if you go under bushcraft, this knife is under bushcraft, but you can see kind of from looking here, some of those look like M. Custas, and that one down there looks a little bit like a SOG. They all kind of look a little bit like something else. That Tanto is supposed to be bushcraft, which is funny. So that kukri stuck in the tree is the one I said I wanted them to send me, and they're like, no, how about we send you this? And so if you scroll, the tiger knife. What is that?
35
$36. Okay. So I'll have to figure out whether I think this is worth $36.
You might want to see what other fixed blades you can get at that price point.
Yeah,
that's
well,
kind of an objectable way to look at it.
I already have a number of knives in mind. I mean, you can get a SOG seal pup for $40. Well, that price may have gone up. I haven't bought it in a while, but it will be interesting to do the research. But I'm going to give them a fair shake. So, anyway, I just wanted to show this off. It's funny. I go from 1 week I get. Let's see. 1 week I get for my mail call, I get this. And then the next week I get this.
6 1/2 dozen, right?
Yeah, exactly. Hey, you know what, man? I like all of it. It's really true. I almost haven't met a knife I don't like, even this, when I got it, I was like, I still felt the excitement of having a new knife in hand, even though I knew I don't know what I'm going to do with this. I mean, maybe they really said they want to see it in use. So maybe I see what it can take. I don't know. And actually, when you hold it like this, it looks kind of cool. So
yeah, I would say in a pinch, it'd be better to have it than not, right?
Yeah, could be a good truck knife, as people say.
Right. Back in the pickup truck.
Yeah. Like the way back. No, I'm just kidding.
The way back, just rattling around. Someone steals it doesn't really matter.
Hey, Kane, how's it going?
There we go. I think I fixed it.
Wait, but I get it. It would be hard to reject the generosity. Yeah, exactly. And there have been a few. Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me? Okay. So yeah, there have been a few times Lavender Pants where people have reached out to me and I've been like, that's not quite how we do things here or whatever. And just knowing that I wouldn't like it, but this time I couldn't help myself. Companies need to really think about. Oh, you were talking about Hawaiian knife law before, and I'm going to read that afterward because there was something going on. But anyway, companies need to really think about what they send when they cold call on knife channels. Neves Knives had a great unboxing recently. The lock failed and sliced him open on camera. Yo. Yeah, that's true. That's true. They do, because they don't realize. I mean, they don't realize that maybe they don't realize that we kind of are like a coffee clatch, sitting around talking about, oh, did you see that this didn't have a lock bar interface? And oh my gosh, you see that cheap leather? We're like a sewing circle sometimes, and news gets around. Professor EDC, good to have you here, sir. A blade is a blade is a blade, and it's worth having a look and experimenting just to learn from it. I would agree with you there. And actually, so I'm going to see if this strikes a ferro rod, this weird little smallest finger choil in the world. I think it must be for a ferro rod. Just like the Arabian
place to loop it around some strings. You can tie it to a stick and use it as a spear.
Oh, maybe that's what it is. It's just the Arabian pirate look is confusing to me on an outdoor knife. That's I think what it comes down to. All right, guys, we're gonna take a look at this. This is a Viking. Is this a Viking Blade Works knife?
Viking Tactics.
Viking Tactics.
The Tops collab.
Yeah, look at that, man.
Oh, hang on.
Put that handle up close to the
hang
screen.
On, let me spin real quick. Here, let me get this into.
So after we take a look at this, I think we need to do a knife fight. Ooh, let's look.
There we go.
That's nice, man.
Are we going to talk about knife control, or are we just going to let that one go?
Well, no one seems to be fighting. Wait, let's see. Oh, yeah.
It's got the Viking. So the handle, if you look at it, I'm not sold on this big old hole in the handle though.
Mm-hmm. No,
I don't like that. I've been thinking of chopping that off. So
would you use that as a what do you call it? Concealed carry. If you chop that off, is that the idea? Or
No, I don't intend on putting a lanyard or using that big ass hole.
yeah. All right. So okay. So Benny, now you have me. Now I like all three of those knives, by the way, Kane. I think those are awesome. Kane is in a yurt. Ooh, look at that. I like, yeah.
Oh, that's
They make killer sheaths.
That's this guy, Artemis or Aramis from Florida. He does these, not Aramis scales, but holy. Sorry, my cat just tried to jump off. So I live in a yurt.
Oh, you do live in a yurt. Okay, cool.
Yeah. And my cat, I have a loft bed.
Uh-huh.
And so
the cat was
he's
just
up there. He's trying to jump down on me.
Good little hunter killer. I love having a cat around. We have a great cat here.
Yeah.
Cat and a dog, and I swear to God, they are classic cat and dogs together. They're always fighting. Cat's always like getting my dog's nose, and my dog's always like, "Come on, let's play." Cat's like,
Yeah, I've lived in a yurt for the past 9 years now.
Wow,
out in the middle of the woods.
Oh my God! And here you are talking to me in suburban DC, and Benny.
Yeah, I have actually pretty good internet out here, which is pretty nice.
That's amazing, man. Benny, since you brought it back up, what do you think of the whole idea of? Well, I mean, it's basically self-defense, like weapons control and knife control. What do you think of that?
We can rationalize that it doesn't make sense and that it will never happen, but to think that they wouldn't try, I think is foolish. And I think that we have to stay vigilant if we want to have rights and keep them. And I just jotted down a list that came to the top of my mind of some of the gun control measures they would easily convert to knife control.
Okay, before you start, I want to read Shredder Knife Review's comment. They said if the government were to wage war against knives, they would go after the scary knives first, like they did with the AR-15s and guns, like the ones that are black and have this look and a pistol grip. Like
they go after features. They can ban by feature. They can ban by name. So here, I'll just throw some stuff out and pick and choose what you want to talk about further, right? They'll enforce age restrictions. So you have to be 21 years older to buy it, a certain age to possess it. If you're younger, you have to be with an adult, something like that. They'll enforce safe storage requirements so that if they're in your home, they have to be locked in a safe. And you could be liable if something happens in your home because it was out of the safe. There are now, and they can continue to enact limitations to where you can carry it, right?
Yeah.
They could introduce required background checks and forms to be filled out at a dealer to purchase.
Jeez.
Right?
Yeah.
They could put a restriction on your ability to transfer your own property to another individual, so a private party transfer. That's going through the House right now for firearms, quote unquote universal background checks. I just got a text, by the way, that Feinstein introduced an assault weapons ban. So, we're talking about knife control, but gun control is being waged. The war is being waged as we speak.
Yeah, it's happening.
It's happening, and it's the worst fight we've seen in 12 years. So, serial numbers, they could require manufacturers to serialize every single knife that's manufactured. Of course, kitchen cutlery will be exempted. Right.
Yeah.
So that's like the common sense angle they'll use on you to say, well, you have your kitchen knives. What do you need a knife that's over 3 inches for? What do you need?
Yeah. And then
they just call the police.
And the argument is, but that's the chief murder knife right there. It's your cheap ass kitchen steak knife or chef's knife. Correct.
Just like handguns are what are widely used in almost every single shooting, but we got to ban the assault rifles, right? But let's get off guns for a second. So I mentioned serial numbers. They can implement required permits at the state level. Those permits can vary from state to state. You don't know what reciprocity you have, so crossing state lines becomes problematic. They'll crank up the red flag laws so that if your neighbor perceives you as a threat because you honked at his dog, they can charge you with The cops will come to your house with a judge's order and take every edged weapon in your house. A national registry, like that doesn't exactly make sense for knives, but that's what they're after. Civil penalties, like you could face civil penalties for violating these rules. And another thing that people don't think about is how the industry itself becomes demonized for producing knives. And what's happened to firearms manufacturers is they can't get credit card merchants. They can't get bank accounts. They're treated like a sin business, like a massage parlor or pornography.
And they want to add. Don't they want gun manufacturers to be liable every time one of their products is used in a crime?
Correct. That's a big one, because that kind of eliminates their ability to get insured. And so it eliminates their ability to have a successful business. Then no one will give them loans, so that's like kind of going through the back door to try to shut things down.
Yeah.
It's already difficult to advertise on social media. If you sell knives, like Facebook won't allow paid advertising for any kind of knife other than cutlery, but you'll get the full blacklist once you become demonized, like firearms. All the gun YouTube channels have been demonetized, every single one. There was a wave where they shut down a bunch of them.
I remember that now. Yes. Yeah.
And so to think it ain't coming for the knife channels is a little, maybe too optimistic.
They get barred from Super Bowl ads.
Yeah, you're not making any Super Bowl ads.
Yeah. Wait, Jim, could you go back to Hawaii's comment? Hawaii Knife and Gear. Knives are kind of pornographic to some people. Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, in a sense, they're seen as like. Here's the thing: anything gets normalized, especially if you're a hobbyist, and this is what you love, and but the uninitiated or the sheeple, as they're sometimes called, see something like this and they assume all sorts of intentions, or they assume all sorts of things about me. Michael Morgan, so they hand you a box cutter when you get to work, and you must hand it back at the end of the day. Tethered box cutters in factories like pens in the bank. Ugh.
Yeah, I mean, you hear people from the UK, like I'm in some watch groups on Facebook, and let's say someone posts a picture of their watch with their knife, and the point of view from UK residents and American residents could not be more different. Sometimes just discussing what the laws are, but a lot of times their perception of what you quote unquote need. And, you'll hear them say, if you get stopped, you're going to have an explanation on why you have or need that tool, even if it's a tool for your work.
Yeah. Go back to Intermittent Gentleman's comment, please. Tax on knives, tax regulating, sharpening accessories.
And here's a big one for us. 1 knife per month, gentlemen. 1 knife per month.
Sure. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, that's what they do to firearms in certain states.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Here's another thing. It creates panic buying when you have this legal threat. Mm-hmm. People think they can't get it. And so now all of a sudden, the fact you could just log on to Blade HQ or Arizona Custom Knives and just browse and think about it, forget it. Like you go there one day, they're all gone.
Hey, in case this is causing some sort of War of the World style panic buying right now, just rest assured, there's nothing out there at all about government mandated knife control. I was just curious because if you're just joining us, it's a conversation that my daughter actually brought up. Daddy, what would you do if there was knife control? I was like, I don't know. I would lose my mind, I guess. It's weird if I don't get 1 knife per day. NAF Sergeant, shame on you. You need to. I'm just kidding. It's the same thing. Every time I drive home, box. I'm like, I'm not even expecting anything. But then again, things show up and I forget that I've, watch and knife prices skyrocket. Oh, watch knives prices skyrocket. I think that's happening anyway. Prices of everything is skyrocketing. Food, especially, which is scary. That's scary because when people can't afford food, they start fighting for it. Our knife_swap will be the knife black market. Exactly. Well, you'll have to go to the dark web to buy a knife. SAC, remain silent. What's SAC? Remain silent. Ask for an attorney. Oh, yes, exactly. Yeah, remain silent. Get your attorney and don't consent to us. Consent to no searches. Yeah, SAC. Can you remember that? SAC. I think most of us can. Intermittent Gentleman says, mentioned it earlier. Everyone go buy a Hogue Ritter. I agree 100%. I don't remember you mentioning that, but yeah, I have the large and the small, and they're both awesome. Great knife, great cause. I see what you're getting at. Absolutely. Go to, who is it? It's Knives. Who's got the exclusive on the Ritter Hogue?
Support Doug. He's
RSK1. What'd you say?
I said definitely support Doug. He's doing really good stuff for the knife laws and whatnot.
I am just going to look up RSK.
Can you hear?
Yeah. Oh, yes.
Yeah, we heard you.
Oh, okay.
I would say it's very important to join your local rights organizations.
Yeah.
Like if you have a state level knife right organization, that's where you should direct your money first. And if you can afford to donate to national level efforts, that's money well spent, in my opinion. Because once these rights are gone, they are not coming back. Period.
Just like all of them. Just like all
exactly.
of them.
Like here in Washington, we just they're working on
the switchblade
spring knives or spring loaded knives or whatever, OTFs and stuff. Like you can't have them unless you're like police or first responders or anything like that.
Washington is great foreshadowing because Washington, California, Massachusetts, like some of these states are way ahead of the curve on state level gun control. And so once they've gained that traction, the obvious next step is to take away your big scary knife.
Right?
I mean, come on. No, but I know that's support knife rights. And by the way, if you are interested in supporting Doug Ritter by buying his knife, the RSK1, you can go to knifeworks.com. Knifeworks.com has the exclusive on the Doug Ritter RSK Mark 1. That's the Ritter grip now. You know, it's awesome. It's a great knife. 20 CV steel. You got contoured G10 handles with this beautiful sunburst milling in it. It's grippy. It's nice. I've always had one gripe with Hogue knives. I feel like the gauge of the metal they use for their clips is by one measure too thin. Oh, this is the new red G Mascus. Look at that. That just looks so sweet. Doug Ritter sent me a purple G Mascus, a mini RSK1, as a gift, and I'm so extremely grateful, and it goes in my drawer of cherished gifts. And now I see this red one. I'm like, maybe I should get this too, but you know what?
A good one.
Yeah, that is a good one. That's good looking. That's a looker. So Benny, what's your conclusion?
My conclusion is that pay attention to what's happening with gun regulation because it will happen eventually to knife regulation.
So you're saying mission creep is the thing to look for, and that
yes, it is a relentless pursuit by people who feel that you have absolutely no right or reason to have this property. Period. Yeah. They will stop at absolutely nothing. They have an endless pile of money, and they will work tirelessly on like two fronts. They'll try to do it in the media where all the noise is, and then in the back they're doing it politically by supporting candidates who will support their cause. So we have to meet that with fervor. Yeah. It never ever ends well for unarmed for disarmed populations. Never ends well, and you got to question why would this be why would this be so important? And the answer is inevitably control, unless you really are not jaded and you believe that it's for our own good, that all this kind of stuff is being done. But in reality, nah,
So coming up this Sunday, my interview is with Jim Skelton. You know Jim from YouTube. You know Jim from Skelton Blade Works. We had an awesome conversation. I really like him. He's a great guy. I guess he's somewhat polarizing. I think it was because he does a lot of custom knives, and people are like, well, how am I supposed to get that? But really, we need all sorts of knives being reviewed, because I'll tell you why. When I was looking for Randalls, the past couple of weeks, I've been in this Randall kick, and it's an expensive kick, so it's the kick is over. But when I was researching and obsessing, I was thinking, I wish there were more videos on this, because this is something I'm willing to spend the money on. Hey, Jock, good to see you, sir. Better late than never. I'm sending your knives out tomorrow, sir, so you can look for those. I've had them for long enough, and you should have them in pocket. But what was I saying?
Jim Skelton.
Yes, Jim Skelton. Well, it's important because there are people out there who want to buy these expensive knives, and it's great to have at least one voice out there. I know there are many others, but there weren't too many Randall videos out there, not current or somewhat modern ones, and so yeah, Jim does it anyway. Come join us for that this weekend on Sunday. It was a great interview. I had a great time with him. And now that we're video, I'm having a great time kind of meeting people in person, because a lot of the early podcasts, the first 150 or so, were audio only, so sometimes I got to meet them face to face while we were recording the audio, but other times it was just, so I'm having a blast re-meeting some people. What's that?
I'm heading out here in like just a few minutes. I'm going out to get away from the world of tech for a few days.
Very nice. Nice.
But I just wanted to show a couple more knives and then head on out.
Okay, show the knives and head on out, but let us know what you're carrying on this 3 days away from. Oh, you're welcome, Jack. On this 3 days away from tech in the world, what are you going to be carrying with you?
So I don't have it. It's all in my car right now, but
it's all packed.
When I go out to do stuff, I don't carry much of anything. Maybe a tarp and my sleeping bag and a fixed blade and maybe a tough fold. I'll probably bring the Hinder as my folder.
And what fixed blade?
I have a little Tops. What is it? It's a little Scandi grind Tops folder.
Oh, cool.
Oh, it's the Bob.
The Bob fixed blade or the folder? Oh, okay.
The Brothers of Bushcraft.
I just had to ask. I mean, like, we're talking pocket checks before. That sounds like the ultimate pocket check, because you're going off and living off the fat of the land. So this is beautiful. Is this a Pena?
This is the Pena Mula, the front flipper version.
That's really nice looking. I think he has. That side looks even better, man. I love that clip. I want to get that clip on a. Yeah, that's nice, man.
He told me he made that as a something that people could consider other than a Sabenza. That Mula.
That's cool. It's Mula.
Mula, M-U-L-A.
Mula. I mean, Mula in Spanish is money. So
I was gonna say, you're paying Mula for that. That's for sure. Yeah. That's beautiful, man.
So there's that. And then so Pena, Craig Brown, and this guy are my top 3 favorite knife makers. So this is a Trevor Berger EXK.
Nice.
Plus, this is
I like that triangular bolster area. Very nice, man. So
it's a dark green, like a micarta, and then it's a Damasteel bolster.
Nice. All righty. So, Kane.
South African Trevor Burger.
Kane, I want you to be careful out there.
Oh, I will. I'm
You're
actually
like,
not going too far from where I'm at right now.
You're like, I do this all the time, city boy. No way.
He's a
Don't
lot
worry
more
about
rugged
it.
than I am.
I've been doing this kind of stuff. So I for the past like 10 years, I've been involved in a wilderness school up here in Washington.
Nice.
So the first few years I was a student doing stuff, and then for the past 3 or 4 years I've been an assistant instructor for the youth programs.
Very nice, man.
That's kind of what I do, and I'm also part of. I'm working with this guy. He's a doctor. He had his own practice, and we're going to start a private search and rescue thing,
that's
which
cool.
is very far and few in the world. And so we're going to do a privately owned search and rescue company team up here in the Northern Cascades.
Well, wish you the best of luck with that. Kane, it's really cool to talk to you out in the wilderness. Well, compared to where I am, it's definitely the wilderness, and how you've described it in your yurt. It's so cool to me that we can be speaking right now. Thanks for coming on. I really appreciate it, and I'd love to see you again in the future. So you know how to do it now, and you know the good lighting too. So let's see you again soon, and take care out there, and be careful, and listen for Sasquatch.
Oh yeah, that's a Pacific Northwest.
Yeah,
up here.
I would like to talk to you sometime about that.
Yeah, I'll probably jump on next week for a little bit, because I've got an ultimate grail for a personal grail that's coming in next week.
Okay. Yeah, come on next week and show us what you got.
All right. Yeah.
All righty, sir. It's been a pleasure.
And let me plug. Yeah. I only have Instagram. That's the only thing that I'm on. And okay. I see a lot of people in here that follow me.
Oh, that's awesome. All right. So tell everyone what to look for.
It's Wolftooth PNW.
Wolftooth PNW. I don't think I follow you on Instagram. I'm going to now.
I follow a lot of people that are always on here on the Knife Junkie, and I see quite a few people that are on here that follow me. So
cool. So Wolftooth PNW.
Yep.
All right. Well, sir, Kane, have an awesome trip, and return with renewed perspective.
I will.
All right. Take care, sir. Pleasure.
Yep. Later, Kane.
All right, Benny, we're about to close this out as it is late for me. I gotta go. But before we do you want to do a quick knife fight? Do you have a minute for a quick knife fight?
I'm here for you, bud.
All right. So clip point versus drop point. What do you want?
I'll take the clip point.
Oh, shit. Okay. No, I'm just kidding. All right. You know how we do this? We're gonna go for a minute. All right. Hang on one sec. Did Benny say he's in Phoenix earlier? Yeah. You did, right?
Correct.
Oh, Never Unarmed is based in Phoenix. How cool. All right. So in 3, 2, 1. Clip point. Go.
So you've got a knife, trying to decide what blade profile you want. The easy choice is the clip point. The clip point's going to give you lots of benefits. You have a nice belly for skinning. That clip provides a very sharp pointed tip for piercing. And then you have the straight edge portion of your blade for other tasks. When compared to the drop point, there really is no contest. That drop point is going to have a thicker tip due to the fact that the tip is so close to the spine. Less piercing capability, maybe slightly better for skinning, but all the other versatility of the clip point is going to outweigh that one benefit of the drop point. So when considering your blade profile, go for the all-American clip point.
Oh, right at the end, man. Well, that was a very good argument, but right at the end, you got in a little bit of what's the word? Anyway, nicely done. I like the way you drew in our emotions and our patriotic leanings. However, in 5 seconds, I'm going to tell you why the drop point is superior. 2, 1. Well, thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for inviting me to this esteemed venue. I'm here to argue the value of the drop point. The drop point is a very versatile blade, and let's start with design. There are many different blade profiles that are considered drop point. So you can have a drop point blade that has a very acute point. So yes, the clip point does have excellent penetration. That is part of the point of clipping the blade. However, you can draw out the point of a drop point and still get that same amount of penetration. However, with having the mass in the front of the knife, in the front of the blade, it makes it more robust in exercise, in rugged and robust tasks. And that's it. I'm sorry, a minute is too little. Next time we'll do a minute and a half. But really, what I was trying to say is that I think the drop point is a more versatile blade. Sorry that I took extra. Clip, says Paul, in a one-word answer. Clip. Clip point looks the nicest in my opinion. I do agree. I love a clip point blade. I really do. And I had zero argument for the drop point because it is the least interesting blade shape to me. Clip point all the way, especially in the looks department, also is better for self-defense. Agreed. So now, like, clip wins on looks for me. Yeah. See, like, this is kind of a drop point, but that's a nice stabby drop point. You could do some penetration. Well done, Benny. Thanks. What about me? Out in the cold? No? Yeah? No? This. I love this. The Yellow Rose of Texas. The swedge on the clip point can but used backwards to split. Yes, for sure. I baton with my with one of 2 cold steel knives that have 0 ground swedges, and yeah, just choose your clip point. And there's another beautiful, or choose your baton up. That's another beautiful clip point blade. I love the clip point. You gotta love the big belly on a drop point. Thank you. That's what I should have said. Hawaii Knife and Gear usually carry a drop though. This thing you have in your hands is a beautiful thing. That is gorgeous with presumably that old micarta there. Good debate, well articulated, Benny. Big win on the clip. Bob A for effort. Really, thank you. I appreciate it. I thought that was kind of like a BC for effort.
I would not want to argue for the drop point. I kind of took the softball, didn't I?
Yeah. Well, I mean, you know. You did a good job too, Bob. Thank you. I don't feel like that's a consolation prize at all. No, I'm just kidding. Here's a drop point that is absolutely gorgeous and incredibly beautiful and pointy, right? What is that if that's not a drop point?
It's almost a spear, but it's not enough curve on that top swedge, I guess, to make it a spear.
Yeah,
like the tip's up too high to be a spear.
Not nearly symmetrical enough to be a spear.
Right.
Good job, Bob. Good, better job, Benny. Good, better job. Okay. All right. I'm picking up what you're putting down. Max says, clip has the looks, but drop point is far more versatile. That's kind of what I was trying to get at. I should hire you next time. Oregon Knife Guy says, great job, Bob. I like clip better, though. Thanks. I know. I mean, I guess I have a lot of cool drop. Here's a cool drop point, right? That's a drop point, isn't it? It's useful. That's pointy. I should have said that. Hey, Joe. Great to have you here. On break, wanted to stop by and say hi. I kind of like knives. Yeah, I kind of figured that out. Joe, we just did clip point versus drop point, and I think I was pretty much eviscerated. I didn't have much to say. Bob, is that a Valaton? No, I don't have. Oh, this here. No, this is a Charles Marlowe designed squale produced by Boker. Charles Marlowe designed some of the most amazingly beautiful and beautifully made and labored over custom knives, but they're really, 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 really expensive and hard to get and all that. And I fell in love with this knife when Boker dropped it a while back. And they also come in green micarta, but at the time I bought this, the green micarta version only had tip down, which was not doable. Drop point with a swedge really gets benefits of both profiles. Yeah,
there's some green micarta.
Nice. What is that? Who
this
makes
is
that?
a Romano, another one of the Romanos, and it's a dog leg
from Brazil. All right, Benny, I gotta wrap this. It's been awesome having you. Love that you dropped in. I also love that Kane dropped in, and it just occurred to me like how different my my life with him is just from a cursory glance. And I love that. I love that this show and the other Knife Junkie stuff we do has given me the opportunity to meet all you interesting people. Talking to someone in Phoenix, talking to someone in the woods up in Washington on a Thursday night about knives is awesome.
Something tells me that Kane is a total badass, and I would want to be messing with that guy, man.
I know.
He's like, I've been living in a yurt for 9 years, and I'm just gonna go camping for a while. It's like, dude, you know what you're doing. I'll be sleeping in my air-conditioned house here in Phoenix tonight. So
yeah. He's like, usually I just go out in the wilderness with a tarp. Like,
right, with a tarp in his sleeping bag.
Yeah, that's how I do it.
Oh man, I got a trunk full of stuff and a cooler.
Yeah, right, exactly. And I'll probably just sleep in the front seat anyway. So no, I'm just kidding. All right, everybody, thank you so much for joining us on Thursday Night Knives. Benny, thank you. It's been a pleasure. Oh, it's a pleasure, man. And it's also it's great to see these knives you have that we can drool over. It's been a pleasure as always. Check us out on Sunday when we talk with Jim Skelton. It's a great conversation. He's a hell of a guy and very funny, great with words and great with knives and making them. So join us on Sunday. And of course, check us out the midweek supplemental. Thanks for joining us on Thursday Night Knives. And for Jim working his magic behind the switcher, I am Bob DeMarco saying, until next time, don't take dull for an answer.